much higher can you get?
Marijuana is a drug that prevents a person from being able to cross their eyes.
La música de Harry Fraud.
I'm on a heavy guap search, fox furs, lobster, ambitions of a mobster, inspired by a pop verse, thoughts like clockwork, orange in the dock surge, shock nerves to my brain, and boy am I a lot worse. Drugs, they apparently warned us to stop copping, now we're popping what the therapist ordered, but it's cool cause the schools and the parents support them, and so we took a silver spoons and cooked some heroin on them. Sky's the limit, but that's life after death. Till then we're just some blind mice in a labyrinth. They wonder what's the smell, that's the Cali stench, cause I be twisting L's like an Allen wrench. I don't really give a fuck now, I've already dealt with enough now. Y'all on the ground, I'm thinking rough round, cause I light one soon as I touch down. My room filling up with cush clouds, I'm so wasteful, can't get enough pounds. Smoking a blunt uptown at a bus down, and I'm suited. Still I continue to roll, less connection with the world, more connection with the soul, more direction, leading the conception of the poem, such perfection. Settle for no less than what I'm owed. Sorry karma, I mean I'm sorry mama, I mean I'm sorry Father Almighty, why bother? I've got an old Bible in my living room, Paula, I'll address it as soon as shorty say she don't wanna swallow. Amen.
Puffin' on the sherm stick, watching the Howard Stern flick. Keep the chronic burning, but burning just like a furnace. Mama said I'm worthless cause I purchased too much angel dust. I don't give a fuck cause all I wanna do is take a puff. Save enough for later, alligator, you know I'm a fiend. If I get dehydrated, I'll start guzzling Dramamine. Hop up on the scene with my team before my time's out. It's a guarantee that Eddie B will Amy Winehouse. Don't raise your eyebrows, you know I'm a basket case. If I don't get a quick fix, I'ma smash your face. Moving at a faster pace, you rappers can't keep up with me. I'm sniffing something white while you be sipping on the bubbly. Buzzing like a bumblebee, I'm higher so you're under me. The game is filled with fuckery, the lame are living comfortably. It's utterly ridiculous, but I'ma stay articulate, meticulous. Playing with your bitches, little clitoris. How ill is this? Everything I touch turns to ecstasy. Dope raw speed is the motherfucking recipe. The best MC, Eddie B will take it to the maximum. And if they got a problem, I'ma have to shove an axe in them. Asking them, why you starting drama with a veteran? I've always been intelligent, grow up and take your medicine. Your marijuana's Mexican, I'd rather pop some mescaline.
Human brain is made for thinking, not pubic experiment. It's hardly a tinker toy for experimenting. Stop fuming with drugs.
Why do we talk about marijuana? It's the single biggest drug that is a source of some confusion.
This is really about educating the public about the fact that marijuana is a less harmful drug.
Marijuana, that's to get high.
You can be as high as you want.
The prohibition of marijuana over the last 71 years has not actually prevented you from using marijuana.
You feel weak.
Closer to winning the war.
I do believe there have been some successes.
We will never arrest our way out of this problem.
Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show. I am your host, John Doe. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Good morning. I don't know if my mic's on. Is it?
Quits every morning. He's like, I don't know if my mic's on. Is my mic on?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, the good people can hear you.
Well, hello, good people.
It's a Tuesday.
Cold, snowy Tuesday.
Did you have a good evening?
It was wicked pissa.
What?
Fantastic.
Fantastic? What was the first thing that you said, though?
Wicked pissa. Google it. Urban Dictionary. I'm not going to define it for you. If you know what it means.
I've never heard that. No. Ever.
Really?
Never heard that, dude.
How far east have you been?
I've been to Washington, D.C. I had a layover in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's why.
My family lives in Arkansas.
That's why you don't know.
That's rude. Talking about things, I don't know. Say it again. Say it slower.
Wicked Pissa.
I've never heard of that either.
Wicked Pissa.
I've been to Missouri. That's about as far as
I'm going to see what Google has to say.
That's crazy.
I think I needed to turn myself up there as an issue today.
Here, I'll let you read it.
Oh, just read it. Go ahead. Read it.
Tim.
Why you?
Because I want to hear it in your accent.
Yeah.
The way a person in New England would describe something as being really awesome.
Wicked Pissa.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us today on the John Doe Radio Show. It's a Wicked Pissa.
Wicked Pissa radio show.
I think you say it a little bit better than I do.
You learned something not 5 minutes into the show today.
I did. Thanks for hanging out with us. iCannabisRadio.com is where you can check out the John Doe Radio Show live Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 Mountain Time, 11 to 1 Mountain Time, iCannabisRadio.com. Come and hang out with us if you're listening to us on the podcast, the YouTube, or any of the other intraweb thingamajigs. That'd be fantastic. Come over and hang out with us. iCannabisRadio.com. You may wonder why we have one camera angle today. I think somebody tried to bowl with the other camera.
Somebody fought it.
You die now.
Yeah.
I kill you. Anyway, so rest in peace to the camera today. It looks like you had a horrible death.
It was decapitated.
A horrible, horrible death. I have no clue what happened. I didn't ask any questions. None of us had anything to do with it. By the way, if you're just listening to another reason to come and check us out at iCannabisRadio.com, I make stupid, crazy gestures like I just did. And you can watch us live at iCannabisRadio.com. These good times. And under our shenanigans, if you get bored of watching us, well, you can still listen. Scroll down the page. Check out iCannabisRadio.com's other shows and the schedule for some of the other shows. Fantastic information. Fantastic people involved with iCannabis Radio. So, including Warren Edson, one of our sponsors, Edson Maton and Mats. You like how I'm segueing everything today? Fantastic. I'm trying to stay on this.
Just because you don't have to concentrate on switching the camera back and forth.
That is one thing that is eliminated from this whole process.
You just improved the quality of the show.
And I'm trying
by breaking the camera and blaming it on no one.
Yeah. I'm just trying to push myself through this 2 hours, too, because I had a late bedtime, too. So, hey, you're just the fumes of that Red Bull has got me spiked. Big thanks to Warren Edson, Edson Maton and Mats, Criminal Defense, Medical Marijuana Business Consultation, 2130 South Bel Air Street, Denver, Colorado, 80222, 303-831-8188, 303-831-8188. Did I miss anything there, Mr. Producer?
Nope. The next sponsor.
I probably did. Would you be willing to put money on that and have everybody out there in the studio, or everybody out there in the studio audience,
everybody listening, be
going
judges.
on autopilot there for a second. Everybody listening to us, I'm sure somebody out there could think of something. Anyway, last night was an interesting evening. I just have private parts written down here on this sheet. Not those private parts. I watched the Howard Stern show, or the Howard Stern Private Parts movie with Chad over here. Makes it even weirder that I wrote private parts down. That's funky, man. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
We're not that close. That's frightening. Is your wife listening?
It's a funny show, though.
She's going to beat me down. I went through the whole show thinking that... Have you seen it? 2-3
dozen times?
Yeah, I know. I've seen it a bunch of times, too. But I went through this whole movie thinking that Chad had never seen it. He like walked out at the end of it, and I was like, "What are you?" Like, I didn't say anything to him, but I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you walking away?" And then later, I kind of like slip it into, "Ooh, that's even weirder to put in there."
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I've seen it quite a few times.
I know. And then later on, I was like, I put it into conversation. Yo, have you ever seen that movie? I was blunt about it. And you said yes, and I was like, oh. And it really wasn't that big a deal then.
Yeah.
It's good times. It got me excited to do the show for today. I get motivated very easily when it comes to radio and stuff. Like you can listen to the Bubba the Love Sponge show for an hour or so, and then I'm like, damn, I really want to do radio.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a weird trigger.
Bubba?
It was just weird. I can't relate to that. Like hearing a radio show and saying, "Man, I want to go do radio." I'll have to keep an eye out for that happening.
What's it? I listen to the production more than I do.
I'm sure you listen to it differently than most people.
I mean, I could completely tune out really everything that's going on. If that wasn't a surprise to everybody, I could tune out everything that's going on and just listen to the production behind it, which is both a pain in the ass and a godsend at the same time.
How long is that show on for?
My attention span, 2 seconds long sometimes because of that. How long is what? Bubba the Love Sponge been on?
No, like how long is his show? 2 hours, 3 hours?
His show is like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Damn.
He's still syndicated in a lot of radio, actual terrestrial markets, like in Florida.
Oh, that's where he's from, I think.
Yeah, I introduced Chad over here to Bubba the Love Sponge here recently. Or I think he searched.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit on YouTube, a couple clips.
Do you think you sound like Ned?
I don't know. It seemed like the first one that I seen. No, that was like a country-ish kind of thing he was doing. But then the second one,
I hear it right now.
I kind of hear it a little bit.
I don't want to be country.
If you grunt a little bit, just a little more, and you talk.
He's like the younger Ned. There's most of the people listening have no clue what the hell we're talking about right now. Anyway, it's a character on another radio show. We hit on Howard Stern and we hit on Bubba the Love Sponge, two of the craziest bastards in this game. All right. Did you judge any more of your cannabis contest, your Rooster Magazine Cannabis Classic entries?
I had to take a couple days off, but I'm going to go at it again this afternoon.
What about you, Chad? Did you last night?
Not last night, but this morning I did. I tried one more, and it was pretty nice. Like, it was...
Is nice!
Yeah. Real hairy. Dark. Yeah, it was dark green.
That's what she said. I was thinking he was smoking concentrates for a second. He's like, that's hairy.
Yeah.
For some reason, that statement was absolutely offensive. It made my ears... It's like the other day when Pike dropped the penile comment.
Oh, yeah.
I have no clue what that meant. All right, what?
Oh, well, it was nice. It was
hairy.
Crazy, yeah. It was a lot of trichomes. It was real nice smelling.
Yep.
Citrusy. It was one of the good ones, yeah.
Awesome. What did we smoke that... we're like ready to leave, and I see this just fat joint in his hand. It's like... I mean, it wasn't massive compared to the size of doobies that we've smoked before, but I mean, this would have been it was a little bat. It was pretty big. It was at least a dime size in diameter.
What was your reaction when you saw this?
I was like, damn.
This is the same Tim Martin who can drop a gram.
Did you?
On a nail.
I took it down.
Yep.
But I reposted last night because I was like, I'm gonna wait to tell him tomorrow on the show, and if he wants to go look in my videos, then he can go look. I got in my videos me and Dredd hitting that gram. Now that one, there's a lot of smoke come off from it.
Yeah,
but
I've never seen
But
it.
we didn't film the next one.
I've never seen it pretty. Why wouldn't you film the next
2 days later, we didn't film the next one. Why? Because it was just a small contest, and everybody was like, we were trying to be responsible.
What size nail?
Not
what size
like,
nail did you do that on?
It was a big honey hole. The other one we did, the first one, the one that's up on my Facebook page.
You're saying we, so it was two of you hitting
It was
a
me
gram?
and Dredd, yeah.
On a
Sean.
a hookah?
Longtime listeners of the show may know who Sean is. No, it wasn't two of us hitting. It was in a Joel Halen production circ.
So have two mouthpieces on
we
it?
hit a gram a piece. You're just
I got you.
You're just trying to be an ass.
No, I didn't know. You said a gram a piece. I didn't know you guys would.
A gram a piece. So, but we did the first one off of a TI nail, and it just like, I don't like TI. I'm not a huge fan of it. So I mean, it wouldn't cook like a gram. There was a little bit of a pool left. So I mean, 2 days later we tried it again, and then we put it on a honey hole, and my gram.
Honey hole held the heat?
Dude, I rocked it like a mofo, but I mean, it didn't get filmed or anything, but I did a lot better the second time around. And then Dredd's second time around, it was crazy. It just exploded. It was too hot when we tried to do it, so you can incinerate almost anything.
Did it just pop and splatter everywhere?
It's a big flame.
Jeez.
And it wasn't because it was like bad oil or anything. I mean, you can draw. I mean, you have
that much onto that.
You can have
heat.
that. You can have that much heat on something.
Combusted.
That it'll
Crazy.
combust. It's not like the situation with William Breeze when we talked about on the show a while ago, about a year ago, almost exactly, when somebody put inside the West. Wait, let me reverse here and get my train of thought back. When somebody in a dispensary had this stuff that just went up in flames. Remember that? Do you remember that? It just
yes.
It did. The nail wasn't too hot or anything because everybody was like, "Is the nail too hot?" And no, it wasn't too hot at all. It just
exploding hash oil. I remember that.
Dude, it was crazy. It put off a big old hash. I mean, when that catches on fire like that, it puts off a big ash plume.
Black smoke.
Black ash, it falls and stuff. It's weird. I mean, I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder about.
Here, hit play. It's only 15 seconds.
Hold on. It kind of makes you wonder about Earl sometimes. Which is a good spot to put in our other sponsor.
Yes.
The good people at Evo Lab and Element 420. Make sure you check them out if you get a good chance. 82 South Federal Boulevard. I don't know what the difference between a chance and a good chance is. You really shouldn't differentiate in this situation because you could be one of the first people to say that you've had one of the greatest CO2 oils that you've ever had, right?
I've had it. It's
Did I put that
fantastic.
great? I put that great.
That was pretty good.
303-945-4774, 82 South Federal Boulevard, Element 420, 303-945-4774. CO2 oil is just off the chain, man. Off the chain. At some point in time, see, I'm back up to almost my manageable level of tokage because we ripped it pretty good before the show.
You're maintaining.
So you're going to have to bring, not in the studio, I might add. I'll talk about that in a second.
Whoops.
Write that down.
Alrighty.
You're a bastard, dude. We'll get to that in a second. No, we'll have to get them in here, and I'd like to do it this week. That was another thing. Ask Alex about if he'd like to come in and hang out with us, tomorrow or whenever he can. Actually, Alex, if you're listening, we need you here to talk about your CO2 oil. So we'll get him in here. We'll talk about the process a little bit more. I've heard a lot more talk about CO2 oil in the hash circles here lately. I've been trying to keep my ear to the ground a lot more when it comes to news and other stuff, so I can bring you guys the most accurate and informative information.
That's what you're known for.
Dude, okay, so I kind of misunderstood the rules when it comes to the studio situation. So, as you all know, we're inside of a fantastic building, which has other businesses in it, has one or two other businesses in it. And during business hours, it's probably good etiquette for us here as responsible stoners to not let our skunk adrift. Is that a good way to put it? And damn it, I didn't even smoke in here during the show yesterday, and you got me into trouble.
You smoked before
Got
that
me
show?
into trouble? No, we didn't get into trouble. I was just reminded of the rules of the studio. But it was probably because of the picture you posted of you blowing that massive plume of smoke in my face.
It was a great reaction. I watched that part 10 times.
Did you notice he kept trying to ask me yesterday, did you listen to the show yesterday? Or did you watch specifically, did you watch the show yesterday? And I knew what you were getting to because I had seen that at the beginning of the day. I saw my face. I saw my face through a lot of parts of the show yesterday, and I was like, God, you have a disgusted look on your face.
Angry.
I was like, I don't know what I was like that frustrated about. Anyway. And, you blew a huge, massive smoke plume in my face, which is, God, awfully one of the most ridiculously offensive things you can do.
Super rude.
You could do as a stoner.
If it was smoke, it'd be rude, but it was vapor. So.
You surprised the hell out of me when you did it, too.
Yeah,
I was like, how rude!
You played it off well.
Give anybody shit.
You played it off well.
Not really.
It was awesome.
I knew. And did you notice that I was ignoring you? You kept trying to bring it up to me. I told Chad yesterday, I was like, Mike keeps trying to talk to me about the smoke cloud he blew in his face. He thinks it's a win or something like that.
Great. It was great.
I couldn't stop laughing. It was funny.
See? I'm telling you.
In the middle of at 10 o'clock at night, he starts laughing out of the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing about?
And he's like, seen the post.
And he goes, what did you say? He said something about a bike, how he was just kept jabbing me yesterday.
I can't remember. It was funny.
I didn't realize it, and then I watched it. There was a bunch of.
I only watched half of it.
There was a few times that like I said something, you just completely ignored me and walked right over me because you were numbed you out from verbal jabs.
Oh, dude, I'll mute your mic. You'll be like, fine, I'm going home.
You're like, I'm gonna drop all. You were trying to say, I'm gonna drop all the fences. There's no holds barred.
I was like, I
get
God,
it out.
I failed on that. Yeah, I heard that part. God,
it was good. You did well. I'm sorry. I won't be that hard.
Shut up.
I won't be.
What are you trying to get me to watch here?
Oh, this is me on a 0.5.
This is a 0.5 dabbage. Off of what are those things called?
That's called a glory hole.
Yeah, it's a glory hole. Right? Jeez. That's pretty good.
It hits really
now,
nice.
I know you can take big rips. I'm not doubting that. I'm
just bragging.
I made that oh, okay. Like I was bragging, sort of. I wasn't really bragging. I was just saying that like my tolerance is back up to the point of a little bit where it was before, and I can bake a little bit better now. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's do it again.
Also, this contest has got me a little bit back in shape.
What Oh, this the judging. I don't see it as a contest.
What contest, man? Need to get a hold of Ethan again and see if he's going to come back in. Talk to him about the Rooster Magazine Cannabis Classic. Yesterday I also made something clear again, too, to myself, that I crack myself up quite often. It's awesome. I didn't really judge too many more extracts yesterday evening, though.
What did you do? Were you high enough from here you didn't need to smoke anymore?
I got a couple bombs dropped on me. That's what happened yesterday. Oh, man. I survived fantastically, though. I did. I'm proud of myself. Well, sort of, but not really. That's neither here nor there.
You're here.
But yeah, man. I mean, it was definitely. I got tested yesterday a couple of times. That's for sure. Yesterday afternoon had nothing to do with the show or anything like that. Well, actually, the time that I got when I was talked to about I thought we were in trouble. I'm a little gun shy lately, man. I don't want to tick anybody off.
Oh, when you got spoken to about the smoking
I didn't
incidents?
even like necessarily. It was on a message too, and I didn't get it till like 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh crap. There was specifically one about call me. So make sure I give a call later this afternoon.
All right.
Cover my bases. All right. Anyway.
No smoking.
Yeah. There was a few other things too I didn't go over.
That you're in trouble about?
No, not in trouble about. Not anything.
Oh, good. Well,
There's nothing. It's nothing.
get her done.
Moving on. Big thanks, well, not moving on, I guess. Big thanks to Rooster Magazine for letting us be a part of their awesome contest.
For sure, that's awesome.
Daniel from Top Shelf Extracts commented on our picture on the show yesterday too, and he was like, "How did I miss this one?" So there's no Top Shelf Extracts in this mix, which I thought there maybe would be. I don't know. There's a few of them. What's interesting though is that I do. I mean, would you say, from the look of what you've seen from the Extracts, Bike, this may be for you, because you've seen quite a few Extracts here lately and quite a few buds over the past couple of years too, and the improvement of bud is kind of what I'm talking about right now, and the improvement of Extracts. Would you say that the contest we're seeing now, I haven't seen a lot of stuff over the past year, like stuff being everything, you know? I haven't smoked a ton.
I'm out there. I'm seeing it.
Most of what I've smoked is stuff that I've extracted myself, you know, or been, you know, I smoked a lot of Top Shelf Extract, I guess you could say in the past year.
Right.
But would you say it's gotten a little bit better? The whole overall quality, I would say, from what I saw, it's gotten better over the past year.
It's very hard to say.
Some people still aren't getting it.
Well,
some people still aren't getting it.
Some people are getting it, for sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of quality out there. But there's a lot more people trying to do it. And I remember when I first tried to do it a year or so ago, and looking back on at the mess I made and smoked, and I'm not the only one doing it. It's happening every day. So who knows what's going to happen if they ban the butane, like some people are talking about happening.
Is that picture still getting posted around of that guy that that blasted indoors?
I still have it up, I think, but I think that kid took it off of his Instagram. But I mean,
yeah, but it got passed around like crazy.
Oh yeah,
he became the new poster child of the. No, we can't say we can't. There's a name.
word.
No, we can't say the name. It has to do with the R word too. So
yeah,
which we will be fined immensely if we say that word. Which I agree, it's a bad word. Part of me was like trying to pull the trigger on hinting to it, and it wouldn't have been one of those hints where it would have been hard to figure out. And I was like, no, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
I thought of Howard Stern and getting fined. They're gonna take Chad away, like they took Howard's newswoman away. No.
Speaking of butane, that can you had yesterday.
Yeah, dude, good call. This picture has been passed around for a while, and I've seen this before.
Butane?
Yeah, the butane.
I remember that from like a year ago. I don't know why they don't put an E on it.
It's made in China. Didn't you see this was made in China? Or made in Korea? So I'm not a physicist of any kind or any kind of chemist or anything like that, but so if you ship it and then it gets here, and I mean, it doesn't matter how much, like, will it explode at all? I mean, it's not going to explode inside a shipping container, obviously, but my first impression would be like, how would you, I mean, I wouldn't think that you would be, I don't know, I sound like a moron right now. Like, but overseas, you know, shipping it, you would think that would be an extreme hazard to ship a shiz ton of that.
They have a way of doing it.
No, obviously.
It's in my hand.
Oh.
It's interesting.
It's stony moment for the day.
It says made in Korea. It doesn't say made in North Korea or made in South Korea.
I think Korea just is.
It's two different countries. Be like saying,
hold on here.
But it says butane somewhere on the bottle, and then it says, you know, then I have it misspelled on the other different section of the bottle.
There's a Chinese restaurant.
Okay, Korea is an East Asian territory that is divided into two separate sovereign states, North Korea and South Korea. South Korea generally, dude, you're right. Which Korea is it?
That's why I questioned it.
Generally, it'd probably be South Korea, dude, because I don't think we have any trade with North Korea, buddy.
The butane thing goes along.
Push my buttons.
It goes along the lines of this Chinese restaurant in Malden, Massachusetts. I'll never forget. They have a big neon sign in the window that says "We Delivery."
We Delivery.
It's just lost in translation.
That's awesome. This is scary though, because the first time I saw this, I thought it was a fake. I thought somebody had photoshopped it. If you don't know, If you've never seen this, let me try and bring up the video and see if I can hold it up there. Hold on. Point it out. Anyway, right there is. It's probably going to be hard to see on the quality of the video that uploaded, but it says Butan. That's cool.
Maybe that's the name of the chemical that's in the can with the mixture.
I mean, maybe we could just be.
It's butane with one molecule removed and one
but
vowel
see, on the back
removed.
they put butane. It's actually spelled butane right on the back. That's scary. Another reason to go with CO2 oil. CO2 wax. Yikes. Anyway, yeah, Warren brought that to my attention again. Warren Edson. I was like, yeah, I remember the first time I saw that. I thought it was fake. And then I actually saw it in a store, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It's supposed to be 7 times refined, better than the 5X.
Maybe that's how the E fell off. All that refinement.
You so funny. Was that funny? My impression there? No? So yesterday we told you we were going to get to a bunch of stories, and then we absolutely did not get to a bunch of stories, which is awesome.
Story of the show.
We totally want to do that all the time. Yeah. See, now you're getting used to John Doe Radio.
Don't make me aware of that. I'm just maybe totally uncomfortable.
Why is that? Should be more comfortable.
Go
on. Something that we can add to the mix today that we said we were going to talk about yesterday, including Washington mom, let toddler smoke from bomb, supposedly. Maryland medical marijuana bill is backed by the Secretary of State. Montana medical marijuana battle. I think I talked about that a bunch yesterday. Maybe we'll talk about that today. Let me put a question mark by it. Talk about CU. Read a story about CU on 420. And should we go? We'll go into this right now because this is funny. Earwax. You knew at some point in time the mainstream media was going to pick up on our dabbing.
It's about time.
And it's starting to happen, dude. But see, it's going to be one of those battles that we as the cannabis community, I'm all 100% serious with this, as non-serious as we may get here, and however much time we talk about this is a ridiculous story, which is an example of why we need to have people on top of this situation and be educated about what to say. And I'm not saying we're going to tell you exactly what to say today, but we need to formulate some sort of plan that when the media comes to you and talks to you about dabs, or us as a whole, how we need to sort of approach this situation with talking to the media. Because at some point in time, when you read this, what do you think of this headline? Potent marijuana equals dabbing earwax.
When I heard, immediately pictured the soccer moms thinking that kids are collecting their earwax and smoking it.
This is from a Grand Junction news station, by the way, here in Colorado. Grand Junction is a pretty good-sized city out in western Colorado.
Pretty good-sized city on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah. The biggest city on the other side of the mountain. Right? Yeah, it is.
In Colorado.
It's not the biggest. Yeah, I mean Colorado.
I mean, Grand Junction's pretty big, but it's not as big as L.A.
Thank you. Thank you for our geography lesson today.
I love geography. You're welcome.
History. Next. Left you flounder in there. Thank you very much.
I just want you to get on this earwax smoking story. It looks disgusting. Can't believe these kids are smoking earwax out of their ears. Look at that picture.
Marijuana equals dabbing earwax. Number one, yeah, it brings up a earwax story of, the thoughts of earwax of sticking your finger in your ear and possibly dabbing. Which, I got to admit, the first time I ever heard of earwax was something that's the first thing I thought of. So I'm not going to blame anybody else for thinking that. Dabbing is gaining popularity, but the high THC concentration and butane-infused form of marijuana has many parents and law enforcement concerned about the negative effects of the potent and potentially toxic form. If it was toxic, we'd all be dropping dead.
It sure the hell can be.
It can be dangerous. Butane is one of the most inert substances to the human body. It just cannot, and this is repeating what I've read about it, and the chemistry, the science behind what I've read, is that it can't bind with cells, and it doesn't have the ability to change cells in the body. And that's studies done over periods of time with with butane, from what I've read and
probably
from what I understand.
Inhaling butane, but what about lighting it and smoking the fumes from it? I think it changes the chemistry a bit.
I don't know, man.
I'm not a doctor either.
That'd be cool if we could get a representative from the butane, one of the butane companies in here, which is completely not going to be a possibility. But first question, yeah, when you're extracting cannabis,
well, we don't sell it for that reason, is what they'll tell you. I've talked to a couple.
That's the sound of them hanging up on you and the dial tone.
Yeah, they will not. They don't want to hear about what we're using it for.
Of course, behind closed doors, maybe though.
Oh yeah, they'll smoke it all night after work.
What's the name of the big Vector?
A Vector is a brand.
Vector representatives that go into shops, head shops, and it's not throwing anybody on their bus here. We're just trying to be real with this situation. So you walk into a head shop and there's a bunch of pipes around and you drop it off torches. It's like turn your head and cough behavior. Oh no, I just mean turn your head. What am I thinking about? Jesus. I'm kidding. But this situation is ridiculous. I mean, it's scary to think about that this may get out and we may have no control over it. All right, this parent says it's just more potent than other drugs and it's easier to come by than any other drug. And there's a lot of people that will do that instead of just going out and smoking marijuana or something, said high school junior Kelsey Rayleigh. This is a great example of what's going to happen across the country, way ahead of this is Colorado, and obviously here, I mean that I was about ready to say that statement wasn't necessarily true, but knowing Colorado and how popular dabs have gotten,
and have been,
and it's insane, dude. I mean, the fact that this kid is actually saying this, I mean, it's probably a little bit embellished.
My interpretation of what goes on here in Colorado is the other side of the mountain is a whole different world than what's going on here.
They do talk about, in meetings and local governments talk about the Front Range. Like it's anywhere on the other side of the mountain. The Front Range, which is half the state.
Which is a good portion of the state.
Yeah. Half the state is the Front Range to the people in the mountains, from what my experience is. And they despise the Front Range for taking all their water. Colorado, man, water, whiskey.
Man, when
guns, weed,
beer,
don't touch it.
John Denver,
Chad over there with a beer.
John Denver knew it was up when he picked Denver to settle in because it's such a great location.
Rocky Mountain.
Perfect. Rocky Mountain plane crash.
Damn, dude. Somebody in Colorado probably got offended by that. Deputy Chad Williams. But you had a shocked look on your face there, like, really? Really, dude? Deputy Chad Williams said the potent marijuana form can be hard to identify and wants to help parents know what they're looking for. Which, dude, which brings to mind, I wasn't going to talk about this. I did talk about it. Did I mention the other day? Did I mention that my family mistaken dabs for something else?
I remember you mentioning that yesterday,
yeah.
Yes.
Talk about so much and just ramble on for so long, sometimes I forget what I'm talking about. Dude, you have to be careful and highly educate people about dabs, because if you don't...
Get high and educate people about dabs.
Number one, the torch is a little off-putting. It can seem like a crackhead. Am I correct? Am I not?
I gotta admit,
what was the first initial contact with the torch?
Probably doing some welding with my dad when I was like 13, like some flux.
I'm talking about with greens. When you have the first time that you ever saw somebody using a torch, what
it was on the internet, so it was. I mean, I'm not.
So you weren't that surprised. I mean, you saw that. The first time I walked in on somebody using a torch, make it sound all shiesty now. I was like,
motel room?
The fuck is going on? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I totally remember being a little bugged out. And actually, I think someone put out some stickers that say something like, it's just a torch, bro.
There's tons of stuff out now.
It's because it can be intimidating. Why the hell do you need to...
Now it's not a big deal. But when you first see it, yeah, it is intimidating. You're like, what the hell is going on? So anyway, number one, you could be considered a crackhead, and number two, if it's some of the crap that I've seen passed around, that crap can look like some black tar heroin. You know, Rick Simpson oil.
Ooh,
that's that black stuff. That could, dude, when you look at that, it could be heroin. I think I actually might have had some of that when I got raided, and it took them having to try to test it. I don't remember that whole situation. You think I would remember something like that, but I really don't. And I think they may have found something, and it was in tin foil.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
It was one of the first times that I had ever seen concentrate or anything. I wasn't yet dabbing it on anything. But it was in tin foil, this black RSO. Rick Simpson oil. I got something in my eye. It's probably an eyelash. Maybe my finger now. Anybody ever do that to you? I got something in my eye. It's your finger, dude.
Yeah.
You're all rubbing your eye, then you kick them. It's awesome. Anyway, yeah, my family asked me if I was doing heroin, which is completely embarrassing to me, because there was probably a few things to warrant that question. Wiling out a little bit, which at some point in time, I'm sure we'll get into the shenanigans at a later date when it's long past, for people to be like, hopefully he's doing better now. No,
good.
I was not doing any heroin. I was not doing anything other than alcohol and sometimes taking a little bit more pills than I should and drinking on top of it, which was not the smartest thing to do. And it's probably lucky a few times that I probably didn't hurt myself. Not on purpose or anything, but by drinking a little bit too much and taking a few too many pills. I didn't know ever like take more than like 4 or 5 days. So it's not like I was taking an insane amount. It's just I was drinking heavily. And on top of that, it just completely sent me into a shift. So I figured why not just fill it a little bit more in, since we dabbed on it a few times and in the middle of ridiculous drug stories. I figure it's one of those ones that we can hit on. I'm honest.
Appreciate that.
Very honest. Anyway, back to the ridiculous dabbing story.
Relax.
Because we really do need to make sure that people understand that this could get you into some sort of trouble. Did somebody think we had a story at some point in time? What?
Yeah, I had a trimmer friend that got pulled over during a break, and they seen the hash oil syringe, and they seen just, he didn't know any better, and he told them what it was, and he didn't believe him.
Did he stay in jail while they tested it?
Yep, he was there like a night or two. At least one night that I remember.
Was it a DUI situation too?
No, he ended up getting released and everything.
He was just accused of that, and he got held for a couple days?
Yeah, they got it tested, and they found out, and then he got released, and then he had,
What the?
He put up like a video saying that it was weird how he had to go to the claims department, and then they said, yeah, just use that phone right there. Call up to the claims people, tell them what you got. And he did that, and he's like, yeah, I just got released, and I need to get my weed back. And he's like, okay, we don't really need to know what you're getting back, just what your number is. Or whatever. He's like, yeah, but I thought I'd mention that I need to get my weed back from the police. And then
that is a sweet moment.
They brought it down.
That's crazy, dude. There's a video up of him telling the story?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to check it out.
It's funny. He's on that video. He's opening the packages that he got back from claims, and he takes it out, and he's re-smoking some of the stuff that he got back. Pretty funny.
Damn.
Kind of sucked during it, but it's a funny story afterwards.
See, there's a perfect example.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of why be careful, man. Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hell nah. Jail is not a fun place. I don't know if anybody learned that or anybody was told that, but it turns out it's true. God, that's scary, dude. They'll back to the story. It's just ridiculous. Because, oh man, this scares me. This story does scare the crap out of me. It makes me a little flustered. They'll dab some of that resin or the sticky glue or earwax or whatever it is that they have, and inside the nail and dome bong is a titanium nail.
Nail and dome bong
is a titanium
awesome.
nail. and they will use the butane torch to then heat up the nail so it's glowing hot.
Play that video.
Said the deputy. Deputy Williams said dabbing or dabs. I might hear in a second here. Hold on. Deputy Williams said dabbing. Deputy Williams said dabbing or dabs. Deputy.
Dabbity Williams.
Dabbity Williams. Deputy do Williams. All right, sorry. That was ridiculous. Number one source of listeners leaving John Doe Radio. John Doe. Crack chat up there. Win for the day.
Yeah,
dabbing or dabs is an issue because users are saturating their brain with THC. The waxy form contains 75% of THC, where standard marijuana only has 10 to 15% concentrate, which is actually about, I think the norm is about easily 20% now, 15 to 20%.
I like that phrase.
They're
Saturate your brain.
Saturate your brain, man.
That's the problem.
I think that's the goal.
Freshly saturated.
Saturate, man. Man, this is just ridiculous. Let me play the. There's two videos.
Oh no.
Actually, let me see what this one says. The frustrating thing is, I have to.
A hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go through one of these stupid commercials on here, and I don't have the computer prepared to screen capture it. But we could talk while I watch it, and then comment on it if they're actually like showing it. Because I mean, the story is going to be pretty much the same thing that we read. They're going to be reading, and the
top picture
audio is going to be the same thing.
The top picture looks nasty.
The top picture, it looks like, from a ways, it looks nasty. It's not very clean shatter, but it looks like shatter.
Does it?
Yeah, it's shatter because it's broken up, which is interesting because they didn't even mention that. This piece looks familiar. I wonder who made this.
I just saw a picture of some wax.
Whoa, sorry about that. All kinds of crazy videos playing on this website.
That guy does not look like he dabs.
No, he doesn't look
He looks like he's angry. Oh, look
There's
at
some
that.
wax.
Wax on the news.
Dude, that looks gross. It does look like earwax. Everybody's gonna think.
Oh, look, are they dabbing? Oh,
Dude, that looked like a
this guy,
swagger
this
piece.
guy
I
is
swear to goodness, that looked like
pissed.
Josh's piece. Doesn't this look like Josh's work? Over at Swagger
I'm just
Glass?
seeing this cop looking dude who's not feeling the dabs. I don't want my children around this. This is
That dude was total.
You know that's what he was saying.
That was Deputy Dab Williams.
Deputy Dad doesn't dab.
Deputy Dabba Dabba Doo. Goal of today is accomplished. I cracked chat up. I'm cracking myself up.
Forget about me. Don't even try. I guess I'm just.
I don't give a damn about you.
I know.
You put up a picture of trying to poke fun at me yesterday. Why should I care about you? I'm kidding.
I know, funny when I see it.
I'm way more meaner on the show than I am in real life. Right?
I don't know. I haven't pissed you off yet enough for you to tell me.
Yesterday we were going to talk about two. I'm done with that story. It's important though that we'll talk about more and more the responsible act of dabbing and how we should be educated, and maybe some things that we could tell the parental units and talk about it as far as talking points on that side of things. God, once we get one thing accomplished, what would be horrible in the worst case scenario here is that this situation scares the shiatsu out of other people in the country, and other states use this to completely knock down any legalization attempts or medical marijuana, which is a ridiculous thing. One of the points that you could sit here and say is that people have to smoke less of it. It is generally, as far as we know, a lot of the times a more effective way of treating pain, a lot more direct, concentrated medicine for a lot of people. I mean, I know from personal experience that with pain that if after dabs, I mean, I don't want to jump out a window anymore. So to me, that's enough
Good side
science.
effect.
That's a healthy side effect there. A very healthy side effect.
Luckily, there's no windows in here.
There are windows in here. What are you talking about?
None you can
But
jump
if you could
out
jump through
of.
that one.
To jump out. I'm not thinking of you jumping through.
Yeah, every time I look at that window, I'm going to think porn studio now.
Yeah.
Just simply because you brought it up
It's funny.
like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, this is
Chad had to
crazy.
tell everybody that he knew that we're broadcasting from a porn studio.
Yeah.
Well, not a current porn studio. It just used to be this whole building.
And some
Don't get it
guy,
twisted. It's not anymore. It's a very respectable building now.
Yeah. But what do you say? Some like
We had a priest in
former
here
owner
and blessed
died
it.
or something. Former
Somebody-
owner fell off the roof or something like that.
Supposedly, yeah. The guy fell off the roof.
Crazy.
I don't
Shit's
know.
haunted, man.
This is why I don't want to know things about things. This is just funky. I had a priest in here, and he blessed the place, so it's safe now.
You had one?
Oh, I'm sorry if that offended you. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
I don't know how you get one.
But we did baptize it with a lot of Earl.
Holy bong water.
I'm sorry. You should have more respect for religion than that. Just sit here and joke about it. We're sort of more edgy this time around on the John Doe Radio Show because of you. It's your fault, Bike.
I have you on edge?
No, I'm talking about edgy, like saying words like the peni word.
Pen 15?
No. You're trying to get me to say it, and I'm not going to say it.
I'm just asking you if that's what you meant.
No, that's not what I meant. You know exactly what I meant. The other day, I'm still damaged from you dropping...
Write pen 15 and read it on a piece of paper.
No!
Chad knows what's up.
Dude,
I've seen it before.
I was
funny.
5 years old once.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying peni.
Yes, because it sounds better than adding the S on it.
You asked a silly question. I gave you a sillier answer.
I did...
One up it.
A crazy thought did pop into my head there. I may not even use that multiple plural of it anymore. That was a bit scary there. Anyway, we were also talking about being spoiled stoners the other day.
Yes.
And dude, I had some horrible Earl. Horrible Earl the other day. And
The other day?
yeah. Like, I can't remember if it was last night or the night before. I think it was the night before.
From a shop?
Dude, yeah, from a shop.
Who?
It was actually... I'm not going to blast it. I won't blast it out. I also had some really bad Earl in this contest, too, but not as bad as the Earl that I had the other day. It looked like we were talking about, that just goo. Like, just black goo. And I was desperate, so I decided to try it.
How'd that go for you?
God, dude. It was horrible.
Did you get high?
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
This guy smoke anything. No, I won't smoke anything. I'm not a big fan of smoking anything. But you're spoiled as... You said something yesterday to me that triggered me to say, holy jeebus, man, just spoiled.
What did I say?
You were talking about like the amount you smoke or something like that. I don't know.
When I sarcastically said there's 6 dabs in a gram?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that a little bit. I think you said something else. Damn it. Totally brain farted
Proof
there.
or it never happened.
That's why I can't write down... I got to write down more than just 2 words sometimes.
There's a pen right to your left.
I know. I understand that. Your 3-word input is awesome.
Less is more.
It just throws me off. It's like I get sidetracked in the banter. What does that smell?
What does it smell like?
Somebody cooking something?
It is the lunch hour.
You smell something, Chad?
A little bit. I don't really recognize it.
Smells a little bit like broccoli. Doesn't smell like weed. All right. There's something shiny over there. The story's out of Washington. Centralia police say they have arrested a 24-year-old woman on suspicion of letting her 22-year-old month. I get through the first paragraph. This is going.
Is this a story from yesterday?
This is going swell for the past 5 minutes here. Did you open that can to try and just get the weed smell?
I did it over here too.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, great mind. Ooh, it does smell like weed in here now.
Yeah, see,
fantastic.
Best kind of incense.
Oh, that's great. All right, let me try and make it through this first paragraph. Yes, this is about the mom.
I was talking about this with Melanie this morning, and she could not believe it. She couldn't even fathom a little kid smoking off a bong. But go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about that when we get done. Centralia police said they have arrested a 24-year-old woman on suspicion of letting her 22-month-old boy inhale marijuana smoke from a bong. Officers served a warrant on the woman's home Friday, arresting her and the 25-year-old father of the boy. Police said they found 40 marijuana plants inside the residence, as well as firearms, according to a Centralia police statement. Police were told the woman was allegedly letting the boy inhale marijuana smoke from a bong. So here's where the problem that I have is... Man, this is a really, really, really hard topic to discuss. It's really one of those, that number one, you should be 18 to 21 on your own, figured out probably what you're doing in life before you really use any substance at all. That kind of includes marijuana. And it's not it's not because I think marijuana is going to do you harm. It's just there are things that I can't even justify it myself anymore. I keep getting more and more liberal with my definition of responsible marijuana use every year. By liberal, I mean loose. Sorry, liberals. That's what she said. Why am I stuck on the that's what she said thing?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's cracking myself up all day. It's distracting me completely. It's ridiculous to give a kid marijuana, especially a 22-month-old.
Yeah, 22-year-old's pretty good. Okay, they're fine.
Ridiculous to hand a 22-year-old a joint.
Yes,
way too young. No, but less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21's good. No, I think 18 is probably... if you're graduated from high school, you're in college.
You could join the military in 18, so...
And really, at that point, the situation becomes... I'm more worried about you getting into trouble by the police at that point in time, Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want to ruin anything that early of an age, Maybe by growing or... there's possession felony still in a lot of states. Not everybody's decriminalized the use. So it's not necessarily that I think that it's going to damage, because I think that cannabis can be used for a multitude of illnesses and situations for people that are under 18, But just like anything, you can go out and, spend all your money on it. You can go out and possibly get in with the wrong crowd. God, I sound like an old fogey here.
Totally.
What?
I said totally. You sound like an old ass man.
I know, but
you're the wrong crowd.
But it's responsible.
Yes.
Do you? Do you feel there's a reason why people under 18 shouldn't smoke marijuana?
100%. I'd say 21 should be the age for marijuana legally, and that's what it is here.
I won't argue that heavily, but I'll say that 18 is, I think, an age that needs to be looked at to...
18, you're still developing, in my opinion. You still have...
Really? Yeah, no, I mean you're mentally still developing.
Yeah.
You're still learning. You're still going through...
You're still a kid.
You are still a kid. Definitely. There's a lot of 18-year-olds that wouldn't say that.
Well, none of them will,
I say that at 18.
I wasn't exactly when I was 18. I didn't either.
But... it's not gonna kill an 18. It's not gonna kill someone younger than that age. So, but what did you were talking about? You and the better half.
Yeah, I told her about that story this morning, and I think
is that okay if I call her the better half?
For sure, that's what she is.
She is. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to you.
Please try. It's boring if you don't.
Doesn't come off across very well because it was all gun shy.
Anyway, I'll roughen you up before this is.
It will happen.
I'm telling you.
I started feeling it a little yesterday afternoon.
Was that too rough
That's
on
what
you?
She said.
Melanie was saying that I was too rough on you. Actually, we were watching the show this morning. She's like, You're gonna get fired if you just keep picking on your boss.
No. I was a little bit upset at that picture you put out. I was like, son of a...
Just tell me if you are.
For like 2 minutes, and I was like, people probably probably like it.
I had to freeze frame that picture probably a dozen times to get the angry... You were angry for half a second. I did freeze frame that. But you started laughing.
I did laugh.
And I can't control that shit, that shiz. It just comes out. So you're changing me already. But like, yeah, Tim nor I can control what comes out of my mouth. So bear with us. It can only be interesting.
No, I can't control what comes out of your mouth. I can control what comes out of mine.
I said Tim nor myself can control what comes out of my mouth.
No, I can control what comes out of my mouth. I can't.
I'm not talking about you. Not everything is about you. How many times am I going to tell you this?
So you were talking about the use of cannabis by younger children.
I was just saying how bad it sucks, and responsibility is responsibility. The situations where, even in Colorado, there are children under 18 on the medical marijuana registry.
Yeah,
very serious illnesses.
But probably the situation in like here, and what came up in conversation, with me, Chad, and Jen, is just it's shock. At first you're like shocked. You're shocked that somebody.
What the?
You're like, what? How the hell? And
is there a kid?
And then I'll play devil's advocate and be like, there's probably a lot of times that people raise the flag in situations like this that just to get people into trouble. Maybe they were growing marijuana, and this could be a situation to where somebody just wanted to get them into trouble. It was the easiest way to get somebody in there. If it's true, it's a horrible story, and what the hell was this person thinking? Thank God it was just marijuana.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's the only thing that they were exposed to. I sound like I'm making it out to be this horrible, horrible drug. Really, it's like, God, that's just stupid. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's not like...
It's
extremely stupid. It's not extremely damaging to the child, necessarily. Yeah. It's stupid. There's studies out there, Jamaican studies, that say, that women that have smoked during... that have had that smoked during pregnancy,
Did you just say Jamaican study?
Yeah, there's a study out of Jamaica. 30 women, I think, were part of this study, and smoked marijuana during their pregnancy. And
was this in the Jamaican Journal of Medicine?
It's a pretty popular study. It's been out for a long, long time. And I sound like an idiot because I don't remember exactly what it said, but it talked about how I think that kids had more creative ability than some other kids that didn't necessarily, and it didn't do damage. Basically, is what it said. It didn't do too much damage, and in fact, there were some signs to point that it may have been a situation where maybe it might have,
You could give a kid
not necessarily been bad.
Too much of something that's made for kids, though. They have children's Tylenol or whatever, and that's bad for you. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of messed up.
Check this out. A buddy is just telling me now that his doctor that signed his red card said that women shouldn't smoke because it raises estrogen and messes up their hormones.
The highest concentration...
While pregnant, sorry.
The highest concentration of cannabis, the highest concentration of THC is in mother's breast milk, from what I understand.
Well, THC finds its way to the fat.
All right, here's this study. 5-year follow-up of rural Jamaica children whose mothers used marijuana during pregnancy. This has a date of September 1991. U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. The research provides data on the development of 59 Jamaica children. I haven't read this ahead of time, so I don't know exactly what it says. Hopefully this gives us some insight. The research provides data on the development of 59 Jamaican children from birth to age 5 whose mothers used marijuana during pregnancy. Approximately 1/2 of the sample used marijuana during pregnancy and were matched with non-users according to age, parity, and socioeconomic status. Testing of the children was done at 1, 3, and 30 days of age with the Brazelton neonatal behavioral assessment scales, and at age 4 and 5, I take it that's it was some sort of, like put the square in this circle, or some sort of scientific test like that. Make sense?
What's the date on that study?
This from 1991, but it was probably 5 years prior. I would assume 5 years prior that it was started.
Being told the study is 30 years old.
That's what I would thought. That's what I thought. Yeah. I mean, it's at least 30 years old.
Checking.
And at ages 4 and 5 years with the McCarthy scale of children abilities. Another test. I'm a great scientist. I figured out that both of those were tests that measured children ability.
Chillin' ability?
Chillin' ability. The results show no significant difference in development testing outcomes between children of marijuana using and non-using mothers, except at 30 days of age when the babies of users had more favorable scores on 2 clusters of the Brazelton scales. Autonomic stability and reflexes. That's interesting. What's autonomic stability? I'm going to Google that in a second. The development scores at age 4 and 5 years were significantly correlated to certain aspects of the home environment and regularity of basic school attendance. So at that point in time, basically what that says is it more mattered how the child was brought up than anything. So I saw that study. It was one of the first things that I read, I think, when I first started John Doe Radio. It was one of the first stories we covered, pretty sure. So that's an interesting study, right?
Yes, very so, very much so. Old as it may be.
I'm going to look up autonomic instability.
Did you mean that?
Oh, autonomic stability. Broad term that describes any disease. Oh, it's the nervous system. It has to do with the nervous system. You're so smart. What did we do before Google? Constantly ask myself that.
We said, I don't know a lot.
What were to happen if our overlords just completely flipped the switch on us?
Encyclopedias.
Jeez. What's an encyclopedia? Oh. I'm kidding. I saw your eyes there for a second. You really thought I was serious. You seriously thought I was serious.
Like, what the crap?
That was awesome. All right. We're getting learned here today.
That'll learn you.
Back to the mother, 24-year-old woman on... And I guess it's a different story. That's when those women were pregnant. And the kids didn't necessarily smoke after they were born. So that's a whole nother interesting situation to get into there. Bottom line is, don't let your 22-month-old smoke weed.
Just put that shit in the top drawer. You can't get it.
I hate to throw her under the bus though immediately. I want to know exactly that this kid tested for high content of cannabis.
Yeah.
Something that would actually be inhaled.
Are you looking into finding that information out?
There's no story. I've read 4 or 5 stories because this made national news.
Do you get any contacts at the paper?
We could actually try and get a hold of them.
Why not?
The mom. Why not? Because, well, we could. You want to try and do it?
Give me your phone number. I'll call her right now.
That's what a news reporter is. That's part of being a news reporter.
I'm not a news reporter. I'm a guy that sits here.
It's part detective. I noticed that. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
The man is being accused of the husband in this situation is being accused of 3 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm and manufacturing marijuana. The woman's being accused of unlawfully delivering a controlled substance to a minor and manufacturing marijuana.
What state is this in?
The boy and another child are now in custody of Child Protection Services, Washington.
Where cannabis is legal, it's a controlled substance? It's an uncontrolled substance now.
It's out of control.
Yeah, it's totally out of control.
When, I don't know the exact implementation.
I don't know how you can be charged with a controlled substance if it's legal.
That's why I question this situation.
This adult was charged with possession of beer and whiskey.
And if they were charged with it, did they test the kid already? That's another interesting topic.
Get him on the horn.
It caught the eyes of the national news. That's why I brought it up. Plus, it's a good topic to cover. And
the national news is even realizing that weed stories sell now.
There's a lot of national news stories.
Internationally, even Czech Republic just legalized medical marijuana.
Oh, yeah? Maryland medical marijuana bill backed by Joshua Sharfstein, which is the Maryland Secretary, Health Secretary. I almost said Secretary of State. Maryland's Health Secretary is expressing support for a measure to allow medical marijuana in the state. Secretary Joshua Sharfstein told lawmakers on Friday that Governor Martin O'Malley's administration has changed its position from last year. I got high and I saw the light. You guys are quiet.
I want you to go on with that.
I was gonna
Southern preacher
accent. I was hoping that you were gonna give me some time to think of something funny to say with it. I didn't get it, so then it just kind of died.
Yeah,
died. What I haven't done is any boomhauer. I just remembered that. Listeners of the show would remember. I got that dang old boomhauer going on. Dropped the doobie inside of that engine cabinet there, and it just fell down the bottom and underneath the truck. Get that dang old thing. I reach under there. Oh, my arm is caught.
read the whole story like that.
Yeah, he says that dang old because the federal government has not brought the charges against any state employee in other states that he would have had to be involved with dang old distributed hit, that it would be hard, and they don't think that they would get charged with dang old distributing of marijuana. So he I can't do it.
Doing great.
I sound like an idiot. Driving people away by the second. Last year, the administration didn't support a similar proposal, citing concerns about the potential federal prosecution of state employees. Keep wanting to slip back into it, though. Sharfstein says the administration is supporting the... Stop laughing! The Sharfstein says the administration is supporting the bill sponsored by Democratic Delegate Dan Morheim of Baltimore County with some amendments. The bill would create a commission to oversee the program at academic medical centers. Morheim says it would be the tightest and most controlled of any state. Oh, that's fantastic. Most tight and controlled medical marijuana program of any state. Bless you, Maryland. It's a step. Eventually, everybody's going to legalize it. And then the dang old dude is going to have nothing to dang old say. So, people are still talking about it. I still see lots of states proposing initiatives. Arkansas, an interesting thing to note is that Arkansas proposed medical marijuana bill for the ballot, and it was the title and the wording was rejected because it was exactly the same as the previous one that was put forward.
They didn't change it at all.
I don't think it was. Well, it was close enough to get rejected, which is another thing to point out, which we've talked about here on the show before, is that, like with the DUI bill here in Colorado, how it's, they try to shove it through time and time again. Every single year it comes up. It's like, no. No, they add something different to change it, and it's enough to get through. What that equals, I have no clue. Whether it has to be one word, 2 words, a statement, I don't know. I have no clue what has to be different. We'll have to ask Warren that at some point in time. Because we're constantly hearing, like right now, the Republicans, I saw a news story, the Republicans are trying to overturn Obamacare again. It's like that on both sides. It's like constantly being attacked, something, like cannabis or DUIs or whatever. And from the other side, constantly trying to be try to be put forward. Gay marriage. Not saying right or wrong for any of these things, but people will put it forward or fight it until they get their way. And everything goes back and forth like a pendulum.
It's money.
It's frustrating.
F money.
All right. My lips are chapped. I lost my chapstick. I thought everybody needed to know that. You guys are wily right now, man.
I know. I need to go step into that room for a second, I think, and re-up my...
You should go get some coffee or some shit.
BRB.
Wait, is there that... We have that Keurig machine, don't we?
Yeah, I guess so. Up front.
I try not to drink much coffee. Coffee upsets my stomach, but damn, that Keurig machine is fantastic, dude. It makes. Have you ever had anything out of it?
Nope.
It makes fantastic.
Dang. It looks pretty cool. You just throw that thing in there, right, and you just close it and it goes.
I thought he was gonna go get more coffee or go to use the little boy's room. No, he walked into the game room and he's gonna toke some greens.
Yeah.
You know what we need in there is we need a speaker like up in the corner. That's like broadcasting in.
Yeah, I thought they had something like that before.
The other day I was thinking, man, we have to broadcast. We need to have like a tournament.
Yeah.
Well, Warren brought up the fact that we need to have a tournament. Maybe do some sort of charity pinball tournament. But then the other day I was thinking we could just do a show from there one day. We'll just go in there.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
We'll hook up like 4 handhold mics. Just have wires go from this door around the other door. Like on a Friday or something. Yeah. And just sit in there and play pinball the whole day. That sounds like a fantastic deal. We could dab in there.
Yeah. You could put the cameras up on the sledge over here, pointing through the window.
Yeah. Yeah. We could dab in there.
Nice. End game.
Yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
Still working on that pinball high score.
I was not a massive fan of pinball before, but I become more and more of a fan of it.
Yeah, I used to play it a lot back in
I can see why these guys here, the lawyers here, come and they go to that pinball machine to blow off steam.
Yeah.
It's the pinball machine to blow off some steam. Oh, good. Bike's back. Man, the show fell apart when you left. It was just horrible. I couldn't do the show without you. It sucked. You know, there's a big window right in front of me, and I thought you went to either the restroom or to get some coffee. And it walked right in the other room. That's what you get, you coughing. Jealous.
Should have came up against the window so we could turn this around and see what's going on.
Come up against the window and show it.
Yeah. It's a new piece from yesterday.
Medical marijuana advocates in Montana are making a final try this legislative session to amend the 2011 law that imposed tighter restrictions on what was then a booming industry here. We talked about that yesterday, about how Montana before had completely knocked out the medical marijuana system, or not completely knocked it out, decimated it, I guess is a better word. The actual system that they had there, which was a lot, almost even better than Colorado's system at a point in time. There was dispensaries popping up all over the place. The caregiver model was great, and just kept getting tighter and tighter. And then eventually, boom, knocked out the whole dispensary model, and then people were limited to a small patient number. I think 5 patients. It was pretty much modeled after Colorado, but they weren't allowed to have dispensaries. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. You okay over there, buddy? Need CPR? You're not going to pass out, are you?
I rushed it. I shouldn't have rushed it.
You rushed token? That's why you're coughing?
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you. You can't rush a beautiful thing. Senator Dave W. I'm not going to try to attempt to say his last name.
Come on, that's funny when you do.
From Missoula, recently introduced Senate Bill 377. Wenzenreed. There, that's how you say his name. Perfectly said it. Wenzenreed. Senate Bill 377 for a group called Montana Association for Rights. No hearing date has been set yet. The bill has been assigned to the Senate Business and Labor Committee, but he hopes to get it moved to the Judiciary Committee. Senate Bill 377 may force long odds for passage because it expands the 2011 medical marijuana law in some ways. In addition, the 2013 legislature is so far opposed changing the current law, killing all 6 other bills that sought to amend it. I wonder if this paper has like an exclusive that this is going to be the last time. I mean, this senator probably said that, you know, he's not going to sponsor another bill or something like that. That's probably why that paper got it. I just don't know how the paper can insinuate that without, you know, leading to something. You know, you can't just say this is going to be the last time and then move on. Like, who said that? Who said it?
Yeah. It's like we're guessing this might be the last time.
It's failed 6 times before.
Yeah.
It's just like we were talking about, though. You know, there are things that get passed through, or things that try to get shoved through more than 6 times. Years, decades, people try to do things. How many times have we tried to pass medical marijuana legislation?
I don't know.
God, there's slight popping.
That's some earwax.
Jeez. It's that stupid mic over there.
This one?
Don't touch it. You almost touched it. That's what she said.
It's gonna beat it down like that other mic or the other
Oh,
camera.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah.
Said you were gonna beat it.
Oh.
God. I apologize to all our listeners today. My mind is in the gutter. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You got your point across.
In addition, the 23rd, we already read that. 2011 law was intended to make it harder for people to get medical marijuana cards and squeeze the profits out of the industry. In June 2011, there were 30,000 medical marijuana card holders in Montana and about 4,400 providers registered with the state to supply pot to card holders. As of last month, the numbers had plummeted to about 7,500 card holders and 300 providers. Are those accurate numbers?
It's Montana. It's small.
Everybody just said, screw the system. They really think that that amount of people have quit smoking weed. No. Sorry. Let's get real here. This senator says, to me, what the bill comes down to is two things. It provides seed-to-sale tracking systems that track all products, and it provides a remedy for all of these lawsuits, which are lawsuits fighting the rule that went into effect in 2011. There is an issue that this is an issue that doesn't go away, Wenz and Reed said. The litigation is costing taxpayers. See, that's another reason. He's trying to be responsible, and he doesn't necessarily agree personally. You know, it's one of those situations where maybe a lawmaker is actually doing their job and listening to the people and saying, hey, look, this is what the people are trying to shove through. Maybe we should actually do it. Maybe we should actually keep discussing this until there's not as much taxpayers' dollars being spent on this.
It's a lot of pressure.
There's an irresponsible amount of taxpayers' dollars being spent fighting, a situation to where people voted already. Another one of those small amount of people getting in the way of the will of an entire state.
It'll all happen when they can get the money to fall the way they want it to fall. That's all it comes down to.
Oh, finishing out this story.
Please.
Senate Bill 377, the senator says, creates a regulatory framework that's reasonable and workable. That's pretty much it there.
What did you have Chad write down earlier that you wanted to go back to?
I think I covered it.
Right on.
Yeah, that was the smoking in the studio.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Dang old smoking in the dang old studio. University of Colorado officials still oppose to large-scale medical marijuana. I do that all the time. I'm so used to saying medical marijuana, and I read so fast. But if I slowed down, I would not stumble as much. That's probably a good idea.
Stumbling's funny.
It is. It's hilarious. University of Colorado officials still oppose a large-scale marijuana party on campus on 420. I think my brain, though, definitely puts medical marijuana in front of marijuana all the time. Medical.
Safety word.
I read it so much. Now we have to just... Marijuana appears as... This is talk about marijuana in Colorado. More and more stories not mentioning medical marijuana.
Not really much else going down here, but...
What?
Weed.
A lot going on.
You're right. The hemp industry is actually pretty big.
No. Well... You're being a smartass, right?
Kind of, yeah. Do you think most people that are moving to Colorado now are moving here for other reasons or for the green rush? Or at the regular rate of immigration?
I think Colorado is a booming state, as it is anyway.
I remember reading...
Probably has a...
during the 90s, Colorado's population tripled.
It probably has an effect that we've legalized cannabis on some people that are moving here, but I can't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's...
It didn't triple. It increased by a third. Hi, sorry.
There's a lot of people that move in Colorado. Colorado is always growing. So, I mean... I don't know. I'm not a What's it called?
Censor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a censist.
Censorologist.
Exactly.
Censusologist.
Add that one to the book.
I'm not a censist. That's awesome.
That's a real word, isn't it?
It's on someone's resume, a census.
I've been a censist. That's one of them funny words.
It was a good one.
I read a study the other day that talked about how if people had people that had written a word a certain number of times after a certain number of times, they began to question whether the word was real or not. I thought I was just strange. I thought I was the only one that thought that sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
In radio, sometimes you'll be doing things a million times and say it like a million times. You're like, is that really a real word anymore?
Yeah.
Let's review. So you're saying if wrote a word down enough times.
Yeah, and said or even said it. Like I'd be like door.
You would question whether a door was real or not?
Whether it was a real word or not.
A real word.
Your brain
okay.
would begin to question whether or not it was an actual real word.
I've had that happen, but not from...
I thought I was just the crazy one.
Not from repeating it so many times. I'll go to write a word that I haven't used in a while, and I'll be like, is that even a real word? Holy cow.
You're like, whoa, apple. Orange.
Yeah.
These people were all incredibly high. They took this study. Yes, he did it again.
Is that Marv Albert?
Yes! You got it! High five!
That was weak.
Dude, I know it was because it was sitting across the table.
Lefty to lefty.
I still got it, though. You look at it and fall across the table. Oh, jeez. Strained my arm or something. Dude, you got the Marv Albert reference. I'm so proud of you.
Dialing in.
Been doing that for a while.
Have you? This is the first time I heard it.
I don't know if I've done it.
Have you been practicing?
I don't know if I've done it this year or not.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I missed it.
It's one of my favorite statements.
Yes.
Marv Albert's a crazy bastard. He wore underwear on his head.
Backbiter.
Yeah, and he did. He bit that hooker's back, right?
Yes, he did.
He did it again. The annual smokeout at CU celebration in celebration of 420 disrupts academics, officials say, even though this year's celebration would fall on a Saturday. We already read that. Did we already read this whole story? Anyway, we'll just remind you. Read it anyway. Hillard said the library where students may be studying for finals 2 weeks later will be open on 420, and other campus activities will proceed as usual, the newspaper reports. The university is expected to announce its plans to prevent the party from happening as early as this week. And what happened is they closed the campus again. That got announced early yesterday, I think.
Really?
After this story was printed. Yeah, they're going to close the campus again because they said it was a success last year.
They said they're not going to do the fish thing. They're just going to tape it off, though.
Oh, how kind of them.
That fish is a pain in the ass to clean up.
They have... Yeah, dude, they've also turned the sprinklers on people before.
Get out of here. We're going to get you wet.
Get off my lawn, you crazy kids. Damn kids. They turned on the sprinklers. The police went around with a video camera and tried to videotape as many people as possible smoking weed. And then they passed around pictures of screenshots, face shots of people all around campus.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it caused a huge uproar. People were like pissed as fark. People that didn't even smoke. Like when I hit the news, I think I had talked at one point in time because I called in to talk to the news about it, and I think I talked to one of the reporters about it, and they were getting a ton of responses from people that were like, "I don't even smoke, but this is ridiculous. How dare the police?" Like, it was a crazy way to go after people. For $100 fine. And the school didn't punish them, I don't think. If I'm correct. Another example of wasting an incredible amount of resources and money on a situation that's just...
dumb.
It's like that drug testing story we talked about where they spent just millions of dollars on drug testing people. And yeah, we'd like to save $60,000.
Florida.
Only in Florida. Not only in Florida. It's just, why does Florida always have these crazy damn stories? Like, constantly. The most insane, like, if you're from Florida, if I was from Florida, I would say I was from somewhere else. Really, I would. I would be like, Maybe not Oklahoma.
You would just say you're a military brat and move around a lot.
Florida scares me, man. I've never felt the need to go to Florida. I'm sorry if you're from Florida. I'm sorry if I've offended y'all. You can't say you've never wanted to come to Colorado. Maybe you have. Maybe you have, but that would just be ridiculous. Why wouldn't you want to be here? But Florida, dude. Maybe Miami. That maybe might be a place that I want to go.
Or the Orlando Studios or whatever it is down there.
Yeah, they got that in California.
I don't even care about that.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
California dreaming. The CU said fish fertilizer was never meant to be a main element in their strategy. It became a great topic of interest in the media, and that made people think it was a huge part of our strategy, but it was always a side tactic, and the student leadership was very articulate about not wanting it. Dude, it doesn't promote good publicity when you dousing people in a bunch of fish fertilizer, which they weren't dumping it on you, but you're walking around in it. I guess it's a good way to keep people off. It kind of worked. I mean, less people showed up than normal, but I mean, still a ton of people went to Boulder. Some 17, 18-year-old kid rear-ended a parked police car, too. Last year, I think it was. Or maybe it was the year before. I don't know. Genius.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they correlated that 100% back to that kid being high. There is an influx, a lot of people that are not students that go up there. And I can understand how the school would be upset about this situation if you're a completely uptight person or you're an academic school.
If you go to school for an actual education.
Why would an academic school like that, a state-sponsored school, like embrace the fact that constantly CU is named as one of the biggest party schools in the entire nation? Specifically because of the reefer action.
Because it's the biggest school in the nation and they smoke a lot of weed up there? A biggest school in Colorado that smokes a lot of weed? Or
another thing that I noticed is that when there was a few deaths, when CU sort of had a problem there for a few years, and a lot of colleges do have a problem with alcohol deaths, alcohol-related overdoses and things like that, problems. CU, for a moment, it kind of fell off that list. And I really do think that, a few of these places, whoever names, the best party schools in the nation, or the top party schools in the nation, should say, I think, respectably kind of knocked them off the list there for a couple years. Now it's back up on. But that's more of a situation than cannabis could. I mean, that's a year-round problem for college campuses all over the place. Horrible, horrible problem. The abuse of alcohol. I cannot. I tell you right now, over the past year, I cannot believe the difference between alcohol and marijuana. I knew before, but seriously, there is.
It's apples and fermented oranges. You can't compare them.
And which brings me to another topic of why people, I think, get upset at the fact of marijuana being compared to alcohol in Colorado, and I could see how they would sort of get upset with that. But it is sort of the closest thing.
It was the N they used.
It's not alcohol, but it's sort of the closest thing to alcohol. Not in effect, but in maybe what we're trying to get regulated. Alcohol should be regulated more. I mean, I don't know how we would do that, and I'm not really serious about that. I don't know. I think it'd be ridiculous to try and, put any more limits on anything, really. People are going to do what they want to do, especially alcohol and cigarettes. But after I've changed my tune a little bit over the past year. I mean, I do understand a little bit more how it's slightly offensive to compare marijuana to alcohol. Like Mike, I called you Mike. Oh, how cute!
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Timothy.
Like Mike was saying. I mean, it's apples and oranges. Sure, hold up your arm real fast.
Awesome.
That was the wrong arm. You can't see it on the film. We'll have to. You have to put your arm up there or whatever. You actually have bicycle tattooed across your forearm. Everybody wondered why I call him Bike. Why does everybody call you Bike? Because you like bicycles.
I love bicycles.
Cycling is your thing. You were asking people for some beat-up bikes yesterday online, I saw.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine ask me.
What do you got planned?
Not for me, for a friend of mine who's, I think, I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do, but he's a super creative guy. My buddy Van. Van. He's really good with his hands. He makes I think these guys, my buddies are getting into these drift trikes now. Like they're beefed up big wheels for kids, and they've been taking them up to Red Rocks and going down the hill. Just
big wheels for big kids.
Yeah, one of my buddies, Casey, is my size, and he's got one. And these guys.
I try not to do anything that leads to me possibly falling head over heels.
Dude, you're very low on the ground, and you have a disc brake on front. And
have you ever fell off an actual 3-wheeler?
A trike?
Like a 3-wheeler, like a motorized 3-wheeler. They stopped selling them.
We used to call those trikes. They made them. I think they banned them in the 80s. At least, yeah.
God. You launch yourself off of that thing like crazy. No, so I'm good. I'll pass on the.
I'll show you the video. You got to wear a helmet, but dude, it looks like a good time.
The new thing is wearing a helmet for snowboarding and everything. Protect your head. It's the new thing.
It's cool to be safe now.
Yeah,
finally.
I guess. Every picture I see of people up at skiing and snowboarding over the past 5 years, it's been like this year. And the past couple of years, everybody wearing a helmet. It's good to see. Before it was like there wasn't a lot of people wearing helmets. Went up to skiing and snowboarding. Too many stories of people. I think even some mountains require it now. Too many people hitting trees.
Skiing and boarding?
Trees like Sonny Bono. Oh, no. I didn't make up that lyric. That was an Eminem lyric.
That's an actual fact. He did that.
Exactly. That's why it's possibly offensive. All right. The CU, in the meantime, with all this action in the story, says they encourage those who want to mark 420 in the usual way to go to Denver in the shadow of the state capitol and then to Red Rocks on Sunday. From what I'm hearing, that's where the fun is going to be. And I don't think there'll be a lot going on at CU Boulder other than the normal quiet pre-final stuff. This is an administrator. What? Bronson Hilliard said this. Bronson Hilliard, spokesman. He's the spokesman of CU. They've obviously coordinated some sort of statement because he's in the know about Red Rocks. Everybody knows about Denver. Everybody go to Denver and hang out. I mean,
yeah, screw those guys. How come you're touching your ear and it's affecting the volume of my headphones?
What?
It just got louder and then quieter when you were doing that.
For real?
Yeah, it's all the earwax.
No, why am I touching my? Because I'm adjusting my headphones. Thank you very much.
Main point of the story is: have you ever met a guy named Bronson before in your travels?
Richard Bronson. That's it. I haven't met him actually. Though.
Have you ever met a dude named Bronson? No,
I don't think so.
I don't know how I feel about that in general.
How do you feel about that name, Bronson Hilliard, being a spokesman for an academic school?
I think that's fitting and
my name is Bronson Hilliard.
Appropriate. He was born to do something like that.
Look, even in his picture, he's got a pipe up to his mouth. No, I'm kidding. You looked.
Yeah, he looks like a state school official.
He does. That would be funny if he had a pipe up to his mouth, though.
My name is Bronson Hilliard. Don't smoke weed at my university.
Yeah, you do it good. All right. But that's crazy that he didn't go to Denver. Everybody just go to Denver. That's another example of how things have changed here in Colorado. You got people at the college spokesman saying, if you'd like to celebrate 420 in the usual way that you do, i.e. getting baked as a cake, go to Denver. And then go watch Cypress Hill and Slightly Stupid. Celebrate 420, the biggest celebration of the entire nation this year. That's awesome.
You can go saturate your brain.
Great reference to a previous story.
Yeah. I like that statement.
What?
I like that little phrase.
It's good carryover.
I didn't hear you because you didn't speak up.
Yeah. Pretty tired now.
That dang old thing. You tired now?
Yeah. Go take a dab if you want. It'll help me.
It was the 12:30 mark.
Yeah,
at the hour and a half mark. I told you. Hit that mark.
Feeling ready to go again. That's all we need to do is just pace it.
I know. I knew we probably wouldn't have a guest today. So I was like, yes, I get to talk for 2 hours. So yeah, I've been pacing myself out here for this 2 hours. trying to spread these stories out over 2 hours, and I've still got quite a few stories to go. So I have no problem. I was like, man, I might have a problem for the first fill in time for 2 hours. No, not really. All right.
So much to talk about.
The other day, you brought up this story about the ice cream truck.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I was like, that'll probably blow over. No, it just completely keeps gaining steam.
Who wouldn't like a story about the ice cream man getting busted for selling weed?
And with rims. It's a hoopty,
giveaway.
dude. It's a hoopty. What was this guy thinking? Anyway, it's been picked up quite a bit.
It's Texas, right?
Even our cannabis media has picked it up. So I figured we would go with it. Texas. All my exes live in Texas.
Don't mess with them.
Got a little brain farted there.
2 scoops of marijuana, is that what that says?
2 scoops of marijuana. Texas ice cream truck carried more than frozen treats. 2 men were arrested in West Texas after they were found to be in possession of marijuana that they were transporting in an ice cream truck. According to El Paso Times, 29-year-old Anthony Anthony A., the 19-year-old and 19-year-old Eliza Sanchez are facing. I can't talk.
So it's like that Cheech and Chong movie, Nice Dreams, or whatever, pretty much.
I've reached
every day.
I reached the conclusion that I have an issue reading. I never had this big of an issue when I was reading news on actual radio.
It's because you weren't getting out blazed.
No, I was getting blazed.
Dabs?
I don't know what it was before. I wasn't smoking a lot of dabs before. I was at a time when dabs weren't. That was a time when dabs were just a twinkle in your eye. News station reported on Saturday authorities observed dilapidated ice cream truck with an expired registration sticker and a cracked windshield. When police stopped the vehicle, the station reported, Sanchez made a run for it. He was soon caught. However, police said that they found Sanchez had 2 Tupperware bowls with him containing a green leafy substance the cops believed to be marijuana.
So are you telling us that Sanchez was dirty? He was riding dirty?
Reno tried to move on and I couldn't say the guy's last name. Mr. A was also arrested when additional supplies of the drug were allegedly found in the ice cream truck itself.
Dirty
I
Sanchez.
completely forgot what you... Damn it! I don't even know what that means.
No, you don't.
You can look that up.
I don't know what it means.
This means that Sanchez...
I don't know what it means.
Sanchez was riding dirty in his ice cream truck. So therefore, Sanchez was dirty. Dirty Sanchez.
Stop. Riding dirty, because we're riding dirty. Oh, this is a funny one. Now I just cannot stop thinking about Dirty Sanchez. Stop, Mike. Honestly, really don't even think I know what it means. I think I've put it out of my brain. Moving on to the next story. Rodeo clown convicted in Iowa of marijuana conspiracy. In the first picture I saw of this news story, the rodeo clown was in full getup, full rodeo gear in the newspaper story. I was like, oh, that's going to help your case. Jeez. Just dress up as a clown. It also said he's a rodeo clown and bullfighter. So did we talk about this yesterday? Why can I not remember what happened yesterday?
Haze.
It was a crazy afternoon, man. I'm telling you, I got bombs dropped on me. Forgot everything yesterday. Professional rodeo clown. I should look to you and ask, Chad, because you write everything down. You're so professional. You are not a rodeo clown.
Or a bullfighter.
That was a compliment. That was not a compliment, though, because bullfighters are awesome. Not the ones that...
Those guys that wear knickers...
That is awesome.
And run away from bulls?
Not really traditional Mexican bullfighters.
Look at my red cape.
Because they, stick the bull with... Them. Yeah, they, stab them.
Little spear thing.
That's not cool bullfighting.
Cruel.
Nope, nothing yesterday about this.
I'm not kosher with that kind of bullfighting.
All right.
But if a bull throws you 10 feet in the air, that's kind of cool.
It's not much of a fight.
It's cool because it's manly.
It's a bit one-sided there.
One-sided fight with a bull. Bam!
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The running of the bulls, another example of one of mankind's amazing feats.
The running from the bulls.
You know, when I was a kid, I found out that bulls were colorblind. And that was the stupidest thing in the world that people would wave red flags at them after that point. I was like,
red is just pretty.
What the fuck is this then? Made me question everything in my life at that point in time. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost it today. A professional rodeo clown is headed to prison after a jury convicted him of lengthy conspiracy to grow marijuana. In rural Iowa. That sentence doesn't make sense. Of a lengthy conspiracy to grow marijuana.
Growing
tall. Of a lengthy conspiracy.
Like a long flowering cycle?
Yeah. It's what's the name of that plant? There's a specific plant you were talking about earlier.
It's a Mexican sativa that'll go 150
No, you were talking
days.
about a strain that goes twice as long. I'm joking here.
Oh, I don't remember.
You don't remember the name of the strain? Oh, well, my joke completely fell through then. It's probably good, actually, that it did.
It's called 120-Day Kush. Go with it now. Do it.
It's not called 120-Day Kush. Jeez, man. The fact that you know what? The fact that you actually, because I saw that posted earlier in my first, you asked the question of, a certain cannabis strain if it took longer than others, and I couldn't believe that I thought you were actually asking for real before I knew the story behind it. Anyway, I'm not going to get to the story behind it. Federal prosecutors said Meeks planted marijuana along corn and soybean fields in secluded spots in Jones County, Iowa, tending the plants throughout the summer. They say the 55-year-old and others harvested and processed the plants in the fall and sold the marijuana in fall and winter. Jurors found Meeks was involved in growing more than 1,000 marijuana plants between 2004 and 2011. Jeez, this is ridiculous. Another reason why we need to legalize. Meeks had worked as a rodeo clown and bullfighter in a local and national rodeo. He faces a mandatory minimum of 20 years? Holy crap, I didn't see that part of it. Mandatory minimum of 20 years?
That sucks.
That's not even as much as some rapists get, some child molesters get, dude. Like, seriously. Sex assault doesn't get as much as this guy is facing. Ridiculous. Seriously, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's
not the case everywhere, but, like, God.
And that whole time he's in there, people are paying for him to be in there. That's for nothing.
What is it? The one that's passed around a lot, I don't know if the number's right or not, but it's like $40,000 a year to incarcerate someone in prison and like $8,000 a year to put somebody through school.
Dang.
Right. Is what it generally is. I don't know. That number is probably not exactly correct, but that's ballpark range. Every state's probably different. Colorado's one of the worst. We also have one of the worst pill problems in the nation, too.
Really?
More and more studies are coming out to find. Yeah. It's up there. I think the last time that I saw the study, it was like number one or two in the nation.
I gotta say, Florida.
Yeah,
it's gonna be number one with the way they pump out all those.
Yeah, I think Florida probably would end up, but we're at the top of we're at the top of the list. I could probably Google it right now and find out exactly.
Spare me.
But it's an issue here in Colorado.
Yeah,
dude, 20 years, man, 20 years in prison. God, you got to figure a rodeo clown in prison is gonna get smashed. God,
he'll be good at dodging people.
That's not what I was thinking. Oh goodness, that's evil of you, Chad. God, my biggest fear when I was going to prison. I wasn't going to prison. My biggest fear when I thought that I was going to go to prison, which I was facing like 20 to 40 years, with the charges that I was with, they could have added up to 20 to 40 years. And dude, I swear to God, the one thing that just scared the shiz out of me was getting raped. I'm not even that. I mean, I giggle after I say that, but honest to God, dude, worry about. I mean, that's why this crap is unconstitutional. The punishment is possibly 10 times more than, and you could give any numerous, like infinity times more worse than smoking cannabis than anything damage cannabis has done to our society at all. You know that somebody's been killed, somebody's been raped, somebody's been shanked, somebody's been severely beat. Things have happened in prison that wouldn't have happened if cannabis were legal. That this unconstitutional situation weren't going on. Doesn't it tick you off to sit there and like hear about stories like this? I haven't got very ticked off. That's what I just noticed. That was one of my first like kind of pissed off rants.
I was letting you go with it because it was
one
cool.
That's one of the staples, man. I've been pretty zen here. But this is ridiculous. I mean, that's one thing that these people think about. And it's not only the actual act of these situations, but the fear. I mean, think of someone that goes away to prison for 20 years. Someone that goes away to prison 2, 5, 10.
And that's all they did is smoke, and they weren't, they're not
criminal,
a violent criminal. Not any, maybe they're not strong or anything, You
go to jail for any amount of time. You go to prison for any amount of time. There's probably a pretty dang good chance that it's going to change you in some sort of way. Yep. You're going to come out.
Become a criminal. Yeah.
You have to become a criminal inside these places.
Pretty much.
You cannot sit there and try and follow your own. If you have an ethical code of conduct, I mean, you can't sit there and try and not fight. I mean, if you want to make it worse for yourself, you're going to have to fight somebody at some point in time. You're going to have to do crap that you don't want to do. Maybe not have to. Maybe there's probably people that have got through jail and prison, in some sort of way and not had to do anything that they didn't want to do. But I doubt that. Extended periods of time in jail or prison is going to damage you, man. And that sucks for people that have just grown marijuana, that have... What about people that this is something that, I don't want to go off on too much, what I'm about to say, but what about the, bankers and people like that? See, what's ridiculous is that they're not, this is more of like a money issue, in my opinion. Like, the only way that I could ever justify the public being harmed by me selling cannabis or you selling cannabis or anybody selling cannabis, the only thing that I can really think of is that it becomes a situation to where you're not paying taxes. You're fiscally harming the government by not following those rules. Is there anything else that you can think of that cannabis does that's damaging to the entire country, our culture as a whole?
Maybe just
detrimental.
I don't know, some of these big gangs or something that the only danger is them acting out against people interfering with their business.
That is a situation, the gang situation. Yeah. But multiple DEA administrator judge said that cannabis is not detrimental to our society.
Yeah. It's just they could do that over anything though. Mess with them.
So that's my argument for cruel and unusual punishment, is that just think about that. I mean, just think about the damage that cannabis causes. None. And think about what somebody has to go through in prison. And what's scarier is that there are different levels of activism. There really are. I mean, granted, there are a lot of activists that haven't been to jail, haven't been to prison, or necessarily punished for what they've done. And but really, I mean, once you have been caught, all the way from getting a ticket to either spending time in jail to spending time in prison, becoming a felon. Once that situation happens, I mean, it changes things, man. It changes your
from there on.
It changes your train of thought. I mean, it gives you stronger feelings. You can speak from a certain perspective, and that goes for I'm not talking about me here. I'm talking about the people that I've met and the people that have gone through this, and they may not necessarily be the best of speakers or explain themselves very well, but they come across. I mean, they still have this experience to share, and it's sometimes frustrating because there's not. I mean, some people that maybe are in leadership, or some people haven't experienced that fully, and they don't become true activists. Whether you're a cannabis activist or not, even if you're, you just smoke or whatever, if you get busted with it, I mean, it really, you don't become caring a lot of the time until that situation happens. A lot of people, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it takes you to get busted, which is frustrating. That's extremely frustrating. The more and more cannabis becomes prevalent in our society, though, luckily, and more accepted, luckily, though, that there's people out there that, are like, what's the big deal?
They're seeing that side of it now.
They're seeing that side of it. People that don't smoke, what's the big deal? So that's good. All right. winding down the show here, last 5 minutes or so. That's another thing that we have to do.
Today went by really fast.
We have to. We can't be going over anymore. That was another thing I got to talk to you about.
How far did we go over?
I don't know, like 12 minutes or so.
Really?
It's beat into you in broadcasting school that, if 30 means 30, 30 seconds means 30 seconds, 60 seconds means 60 seconds. And to hit posts like crazy, hit that exactly where it is.
Not in the military. It's way different.
What?
The military is way different. They'll be like, there's a big, everybody uses this phrase, hurry up and wait. They'll say formation in 10 minutes, and then you get there,
I was going to say, I was like, man, the military, I thought you had to be like, on time and
certain things.
I see what you're saying. Though.
Yeah,
there's like
you get there and it's like you just stand there for half an hour or something.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Their timing's off or something, just kind of weird.
But like in broadcasting school and stuff, and I mean, you have to make your commercials like 30 seconds exactly because they go into machines and all that stuff. But I never had to worry about that. Never had to worry about that really. Well, a few times. Help us all. It'll help us also on 420radio.org.
Yeah.
So, but if you'd like to check out the other shows, make sure you check out iCannabisRadio.com. If you'd like to check us out live, Monday through Friday, 11 to 1, iCannabisRadio.com is the place to go. There's a chat room there. Have yourself some great conversation between each other. Yell at me for some sort of reason.
Across
the interwebs? Or interwebs?
I'll yell at you for saying across.
I was like, why are you saying across?
Did I beat it out of you yesterday? You're not going to say it anymore?
No, I'll probably end up saying it some more time.
I'll catch you too.
Across and across. Across is probably said at a faster speed of enunciating my words, so it probably comes in across.
It's Wicked Pissa.
Wicked Pissa.
Yes.
Anytime I hear the beat, I had this bed before that we're listening to right now.
Britney or something? Britney Spears?
It's an A-Rap music bed. This part right here.
Yeah, okay.
I had that part, and I had cut out the first part before, but I thought I'd add that.
That's what I heard a girl singing.
I know every time it comes up, I'm like, that's strange. It's all dance music-y compared to the other beds. I like it though.
Every time I have to go to the bathroom now, I'm just gonna start thinking of that Wicked Pissa.
Here, I got a bottle.
I gotta take a Wicked Pissa. No.
Thank you guys.
Take a Wicked Piss.
Take a Wicked Pissa.
That's different.
You are not doing that in the studio.
No, it's just funny. I'm just gonna think of that from now on, probably.
Trucker's catheter.
These rules.
No pissing in the studio.
God.
But you can be Wicked Pissa in the studio because that ain't messy.
Sweet.
Wicked awesome, dude.
Gnarly.
Richter.
No brain cells were harmed in the making of John Doe Radio Show today. Except for your brain cells listening to the
animals were
hurt.
No, animals were didn't test any makeup on any animals in the John Doe Radio Show today.
iCannabisRadio.com, where you can go and check out the video from the show also. If you didn't catch the live show, go to iCannabisRadio.com and check out the video there. And you can get our podcast on iTunes. Search for the John Doe Radio Show. And there's also an audio file on the John Doe Radio Show website.
100% organic and non-toxic.
GDR. Element 420, big thanks to them. 82 South Federal Boulevard, 303-945-4774. 303-945-4774. Fantastic CO2 oil. We'll get them in here to talk about it. Big thanks to Warren Edson, Edson, Mayton, and Matts. 2130 South Bel Air Street, Denver, Colorado. 303-831-8188. 303-831-8188. And should have maybe another sponsor or two by the end of this week. I'm excited. Have yourselves a fantastic afternoon, fantastic evening. It's been fun with you today. I had a good time today. I thought today was going to be a lot more difficult. This would be a lot more tired. Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm probably going to crash.
You blew me
afterwards.
away. You blew me away. I thought we were going to have a dull show. The mood you were in this morning.
I wasn't in a bad mood.
You were sour.
No, dude, you haven't seen me sour. My mood has improved. Has my mood improved over the past month?
Yeah, seems like it.
Absolutely.
I've been with Chad for the majority of the past month.
You guys have been dating for about a month now.
Yes, that's what she said. His wife is going to kill us. All right. Until we meet again tomorrow, I'll let you know on our Facebook page and on my Facebook page and on Twitter what's going on tomorrow if we schedule something, an important guest. which is all of our guests, right? All right.
See ya.
Later.
I'm John Doe. Tell me meeting tomorrow. See ya.
Produced by Charlie Stash Entertainment. The John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited by information on agriculture subjects and is informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Listening to anyone but your father is just plain stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.
Live.